Всем привет, my name is Vika, I'm very glad to see you here. Today I'm filming a highly requested Q&A because there are a lot of you here already and we really need to know each other a little bit better. So in the last video I asked you guys to write your questions down in the comments, and I know that it's not very typical for a Q&A, but I decided to answer almost all of them because I personally love big and informative Q&A videos, so I decided to film something like that too. And I'll put timestamps for all the questions in the description box because this video is going to be long probably. I'm sorry if I somehow missed your question. I kept some of them for a different Q&A video about Russia, so maybe your question will be there. So I'll start. By the way, I have Leo Tolstoy journal, so that's kind of funny. The first question that I get under every video is where did you learn English? And also here, do you know other languages? Do you want Agatha to become bilingual? Do you speak both Russian and English to her? I've seen a lot of the assumptions from you guys, but no, I wasn't raised as a bilingual, I have never lived abroad, and I don't use English for work. The answer is pretty simple. My parents really wanted me to know English and they were a little bit pressuring me to study it, although I'm very thankful to them because this channel wouldn't be able to exist without them. And I was studying since I was about 8 years old and I finished school at about 18 years. I was taking extra classes after school every week, and in my teenage years I even had a Skype teacher from America, like a Native American guy who wasn't even a teacher, he was just talking to me so I would develop my speaking skills. And every summer I was visiting Christian summer camps where Americans used to come as missionaries, so I could practice there. And also I've been watching a lot of English content on YouTube since I was about 13 years old, so I think it helped a lot. And that's how I learned English, at least to this point where I can speak to you. I don't know any other languages, I speak only English and Russian. I don't speak English to Agatha, I don't know if somebody can understand me, but I feel very weird speaking English in a Russian community because English is not my native language and it feels kind of weird to speak it with no actual reason. And my husband doesn't understand it very well. He understands about like 40% of simple words that I say, but not everything. And just in general, I don't know, I feel very weird talking in English here, so I don't speak English to Agatha. But I want her to know it also very well, so I think even if I won't speak to her in English, we will study it a lot as I did. I didn't think about it a lot, to be honest, because she's very small now and she doesn't speak at all yet, so I kind of left this whole English question to the future. How old are you and your husband? How did you meet? How long have you been married? I'm 22, my husband is 31. We have 9-year age difference and we met at the church basically. After school I moved to Krasnodar on the south of Russia from my hometown, and he also was living in St. Petersburg and moved to Krasnodar at the same time. So we kind of met in the church. We didn't communicate much because the church was big and not everybody knew each other very well. But once I met him on the street and I knew that he's a guy from the church, so we had a quick talk and it was kind of awkward and funny. But on the next day I found out that he actually has a home group. He leads a home group in the same district I live in because he also used to live there. And I was searching for a home group at that period of time, so I decided to come to his home group. And after the first time I came, he started messaging me all the time, so I kind of understood that he liked me. And 9 months later we got married. And we have been married for 3 years already, almost. 3 years will be on the 1st of May. So we will have an anniversary soon. Where exactly do you live? How much does your apartment cost? And don't you consider moving to Moscow? I live in Tula. It's about 180 kilometers from Moscow. After living for several years in Krasnodar, we moved back to my hometown to be closer to my family and my parents. We moved about 2 months ago, and right now we're living here. We don't want to move to Moscow. We never wanted to because we don't like Moscow personally, like my husband and I. Moscow is very big and crowded and chaotic and very expensive, and I don't like very big cities in general, so I never wanted to move there. And the cost of our apartment, we were very lucky to find it for a very cheap price. It's about $200 for rent per month and $100 for utilities also per month. This is a nice district actually, and the apartment is big, so it's a very good price. Usually apartments like that cost about $250, even in the same condition, the same size, so we were very lucky. Tell about your school, college, job journey, plans for future. What is your husband's job? I finished school in 2016, and I've got all the A's for my 11th and for my 10th grade, and I got in Russian we have that traditional prize, a gold medal for everybody who finished their school with the best results, all the A's. And I also had very good results on my final exams, so I had the best result in my school. And because of that I could apply to the university to study for free. And that's why I moved to Krasnodar. I decided to live there and entered the university there. The major was English and German language studies, something like that, to be a translator. But I hated all the process. I hated that university, and I didn't like the education, the quality of education. I think I had too high expectations of the university in general, not that one exactly, but at all, the university life. Maybe a little bit affected by these American movies with all the cool universities where all the teachers are very high educated and they make lessons interesting and all of that. So I was very disappointed, very sad, and I left the university after I studied for half of the year. I was struggling with what I'm going to do next. I've always wanted to get a degree. I don't know, I just like studying in general, but I realized that I don't want to study there, and this subject is not my thing at all. I was working here and there. I was working for several months as a dentist assistant for children. I have no medical education, but it somehow happened. I was working as a barista in a cafe, although I don't drink coffee at all and I've never tried any drink that I made, but people always were telling me that it's very tasty, so I wasn't worrying much. And then I met my husband, who was trying to start a flower business, a flower delivery around the city and a flower shop. And I started to help him. We got married, and then we opened like a flower shop and a flower delivery. And although I wasn't working officially with him, and I told him every time that it's his business, it's his thing to do. But I was working with him all the time. I knew all the processes. I was like the co-CEO, co-director of this company, and I was hiring people. I was managing all the processes. So I was working till I gave birth to Agatha, and then I stayed at home with my daughter. I don't have a maternity leave official because I wasn't working officially. But I just stayed home with her. I don't have any job right now. I'm doing YouTube instead, and I've never wanted to have a specific career. I always wanted to have different interests and different businesses or hobbies that would bring me income. So yeah, I'm kind of doing what I always wanted to, and I'm happy as it goes. And my husband sold his flower business in August 2020. It was working well. He was just a little bit tired of it, and we wanted to move closer to my relatives, so he decided to sell it. And he started a different online business. He's producing wooden toys right now. He doesn't make them himself, but he has a person who makes them. And my husband basically is just selling them on the online markets. We have several like Ozon, Yandex Market, and Wildberries, which are approximately the same as American Amazon, but more like local and small. So he's producing these toys and selling them, and he's working from home, and it doesn't take him much time, so he's now helping me with this YouTube channel and with taking care of Agatha. And right now I'm studying online in the university. Also, my major is advertising and PR. I'm not a big fan of this subject, and the quality of education isn't very good, but I don't have very much options here because I'm a mom of a small child and I can't go to the universities for full-time studying, so I need an online education that would be suitable for us as a family. And I was even thinking about studying online in the foreign university, but comparing to Russian salaries, prices there are just insane. I'll be glad to have a degree even if I will never use it for work. I just like the feeling of accomplished goal, and I like studying in general. So next question: how do you manage being a minimalist, family holidays and all the gifts? Do you have big families? Do your relatives respect and understand your way of living? What presents do you choose for others, and what do you like to get yourself? So minimalism and holidays. I have quite a small family that is not very united, so I don't get a lot of presents on holidays, and we don't really get all together to celebrate. We don't do things like that. I have like only mom, dad, my younger brother, my aunt, two cousins, and grandma and grandma from different sides, and they all don't communicate with each other much, so on a regular basis I get presents only from my parents and my husband. And my dad prefers to give financial gifts, so he would give some money, and my mom usually asks if we need something and gives us something that we need, or also a financial gift. So it's pretty simple for us. And my husband has a really big family. He has a mom and 4 brothers and sisters. He's the youngest. And they all have a lot of children, and his mother has a lot of brothers and sisters too. So his family is pretty big, but they all live very far away, so we don't really get presents from them. Sometimes we get financial presents from his mom. I can't really say that my parents respect and understand my way of living, because they are just very different and they have different views in life. So we try not to discuss it much. I live like I like, and they live like they like to live. So we try not to, just discuss it too much to not get an argument. I really like to give useful presents that I know this person needs or really wants. And personally, I like to receive more emotional gifts, like trips somewhere or tickets or things like that. And my husband used to gift me trips a couple times, and it was the best experience. How do you find balance with downsizing and getting rid of things with sustainable practices? And has your minimalist journey made you consider reducing your consumption of animal products? That's an interesting question. I think that minimalism and sustainability are very related themes, and I try to learn more about how to be sustainable, and I really want to reduce the amount of waste that I make till the like minimum. But it's a long journey, and I think there is nothing wrong if you are making like baby steps, tiniest baby steps. It's better than doing nothing. So I try not to judge myself every time I throw away a plastic box. But I also try to make these steps toward being more sustainable. So the only way for me to be more sustainable right now is to purchase as less things as I can, try to reuse things differently, and try to purchase second-hand items if I need something. So this was working very well for me, and I also try not to throw away things. If I declutter them, I try to sell them or donate them specifically to a person who needs them. The worst thing that I can't be sustainable yet is food, because I don't really feel like cooking all the time, everything myself. To purchase food without package, you need to go to the farmer's market, which is quite far away, and we don't have a car, so I need to carry all these bags with me through half of our city, which is kind of like, I'm not a fan of this idea at all. And if you buy things in a local supermarket near your house, things are usually packaged in plastic, and I try to avoid it, but it all doesn't work for me yet. But I'm slowly trying to figure out my way to be more sustainable. So yeah. And animal products, yes, I thought about becoming vegetarian or vegan, and I thought if I would live by myself, I would definitely do that, because I'm not a very big fan of meat. I don't really care about it. But my husband loves meat, and I cook for him and for our daughter, so I don't feel like cooking separate meals for myself. For him, I'm just not a fan of cooking so much, so we eat all together. But I'm also making small tiny baby steps into purchasing more vegetables, trying to make foods with vegetables instead of meat, and just, you know, try to find some recipes. And I think Russian cuisine that we are very used to is all about meat, dairy, eggs, gluten, and things like that. So I really need to find recipes that would taste approximately like similar, that the ones that we're used to, but also would be vegetarian. So I'm kind of working on it, but it's a very long process also, and I don't think that in the nearest future we'll get rid of all our meat and dairy products. What have been your biggest struggle as a first-time mom? Was it hard to start a family young, and do you struggle to be taken seriously as a young mom? I don't really think that starting a family young is difficult in general, but it was a little bit difficult for me because right after the wedding we started to work in my husband's flower shop, and we were working without weekends, and that was not the kind of work that I would love to do. It was stressing me out all the time. So that was not what I was going to do in my early 20s. I had some inner struggles in my mind because I wasn't doing something that I personally wanted to do, and I wasn't living my life like I wanted to live it. And then Agatha was born, and the pandemic happened, and I was just staying at home for a couple of years, because first we were working all the time, then I stayed with Agatha, and the pandemic. That was hard for me because I get my resources from either traveling or being alone, like having alone time in the quietness, just doing something that I want to do. And I was lacking these things so much because we couldn't travel, and because I was with Agatha full time. First several months my husband was working all the time also, and I was non-stop with Agatha 24/7 without any help. Agatha is growing, and it's easier to move around with her, so I hope that we'll travel a little bit more, and that also I'll be able to stay just alone, because my husband is able to now take Agatha for several hours and just hang out with her outside. So it's getting better. But I need to say that in general I'm very happy that I got married young and that I got my first child. young, because I think family is a huge blessing, and I'm very happy to have a husband and a daughter at such a young age. So yeah, I'm just thankful for that, even though it was a little bit hard for me. And as I said, the biggest struggle was staying at home with Agatha all the time and not being able to have time for myself, just alone without anybody. And yes, I struggle a lot with being taken seriously as a young mom. I don't think it's just a Russian mentality problem, but people here are a little bit judgmental, and when they see me, they assume that I'm just a random teenager. I don't wear makeup and wear pretty like simple clothes, so they just think that I'm a teen. And then they see me with Agatha and they think that I'm a teen mom or something like that, and that I have no idea what I'm doing with my life. So yes, sometimes I get random comments on the street from people that I never asked to comment anything about me and my baby. Most of the time these comments are positive. People just say that the baby is very cute, but sometimes they are kind of negative, and I don't really understand why people do that. But I don't really care about random people on the street. I care when we go to doctor appointments or to make some documents or like anything like that, and people don't really take me seriously there also. So I have to act very mature and serious and very organized, so these people would overcome their first opinion about me and would respect me a little bit more. But as I said, I'm very glad that I'm a young mom, and these little struggles don't really bother me so much. So how did you decide to start your YouTube channel? I've always wanted to. I was a fan of YouTube since I was about 13 years old. It's my favorite like social network, and I really wanted to be able to have a community of people from all over the world. That's why I decided to make it in English. I've never wanted to have a channel in Russian because I like to communicate with people from other places, and I really wanted to have a place to be creative, to express myself. I like video content much more than photographs, so I was a fan of YouTube and I really wanted to make my channel, but I didn't know what about I want to film. So just a couple months ago I decided that I want to film about minimalism and life in Russia, and I watched a couple videos from other YouTubers that were telling how to start a YouTube channel, and they all used to tell that you need a nice equipment, you need a nice camera, you need a nice microphone, you need a nice place to film. And I don't have any of these things. And then I found out the eco-friend Leah channel, and in one of her videos she shared that she got about 10-15,000 subscribers in a year. And I've checked her first videos and she was filming on her phone or something like that, and I was so excited. I thought, wow, if she could do that, if she could just film on her phone and people started to follow her and watch what she is doing, then I can do that too. So she really inspired me that way, and I'm very thankful that I came across her channel and I actually decided to start mine. I'm filming on my iPhone 8 right now. Of course I'm planning to get better equipment in the future, but working with what I have. Also, I've made a Patreon, and if you want to take part in the creating process or just support me, you can check out the link in the description. I plan to make a little bit of special content for Patreons, not a lot, but I think something interesting I will be able to post there, so you can check it out. Did you grow up in the countryside? Do you want to move to the countryside or stay in the city? I grew up in the city, right in the same type of buildings that I live now. I've been living in apartments like that for my whole life. Different apartments, but same type of buildings. And I've never lived in the countryside. I have no idea, well, I've been in the countryside, but I have no idea what it's like to actually live there full time. So my husband and I, we are discussing it for more than a year already if we want to move to the countryside, because we have a child now and I think it's a little bit healthier for her to grow up in the countryside. The air is better there, just in general, nature and food is better. Or if we want to stay in the city, because there are also very nice activities for children, and we love city but we also love the countryside, so we are attracted to both variants and we can't make a decision. At least for now, we don't know. Have you ever wanted to make a big move, whether to somewhere else in Russia or abroad, and do you like living in Russia? As I already said, I've moved from Tula to Krasnodar after school. It's about 1,200 kilometers apart, so it was a big move. And I actually enjoy moving. I like the process, I like the new places, all the new feeling. And I've always wanted to at least try to live abroad. I've always wanted to just have that experience of living abroad, so I would love that. And I can't say that I like a lot living in Russia. I don't have anything to compare my life with. I've traveled a little bit abroad, but I've never lived there full time, so I only have an experience of living in Russia, and there are some things that I like about Russia, some things that I don't like about Russia. And Russia is just in general very familiar to me because I grew up in it, and that's something that I feel very connected to, all the culture, mentality, and all of these things. So I can't say that I very like it or don't like it at all, because I just have nothing to compare with, really. And I would love to live somewhere else, at least just to have an experience. Why did you choose the name Agatha? Is it popular in Russia? It's very rare in Russia, but we were struggling to find any names that we would like, and we both fell in love with the name Agatha, so we had only one name picked for our daughter. And when she was born, I looked at her and thought that it name suits her well, so that's why we named her Agatha. Agatha means good, kind, and we really liked the meaning. How does your lifestyle compare to a typical Russian lifestyle? Are there any traditions that you hold? I think we live pretty typically as other young Russians, especially young Russian families, because lifestyles a little bit change after having kids. I don't think we have any traditions that we would do as a family. I can't remember any traditional Russian things that we would really do. And even on holidays and religious holidays, we don't usually do much traditional things. So maybe in the future we will, I don't really know, but right now I don't have any traditions. Do you have a favorite vacation spot in Russia? Where do you want to travel abroad? And have you ever been to the USA? I have never been to the USA, but I really want to go there because we have quite a lot of my husband's relatives there, so we really want to visit them, and his mom lives there, so I would like to go and see how they live and just in general visit them, because I've never seen them. I've only seen his mom because she came to our wedding. I want to travel almost everywhere abroad, so I won't even make a list. I just want to travel in general and see other places. And I also like to go to different places every time, so we don't really have a favorite vacation spot in Russia, but we were a couple times in Krasnaya Polyana. It's a place near Sochi in mountains. It was very well made before 2013 Olympics. So this is a very nice place to just be in the mountains, to have rest. It's very beautiful there, and we've been there a couple times, so we really enjoyed that. And we thought about coming again there with Agatha because we already know everything there, and it would be easier with the kid as a first travel. What do you do on weekends in your free time? Do you have any hobbies? I'm quite bad with time management. That's why I always don't have enough time for doing the things I need to do. That's why I really don't have any time for hobbies. I do this YouTube, it takes a lot of time and it is sort of a hobby. Usually I just do things that I need to do. I cook, I organize my home, I clean, I go thrifting because I enjoy it, but because I need it, and just in general do things that I need. And on weekends and in the free time, we usually go for a long walk together with my husband and our daughter. We like to take a little bit of food with us and have some sort of a picnic outside. So we like long walks around the city. Do you think your mindset about minimalism will ever change? And what about living in a bigger apartment in the future? I don't think my mindset would ever change. Well, it would change, but I don't think it would change significantly, because this mindset and the values that I have been with me for quite a long time already, and I hope that these values and mindset will stay with me till the rest of my life, because I really enjoy my life right now and how it is going, and the future seems very attractive to me with that type of mindset and with these values. I would like to have a nicer apartment, nicer in design, nicer in just in general, the one that I would really love, my own apartment. And I don't really care if it would be bigger or not, but I need it to be very comfortable and very well organized for all the things that we need. For example, we'll have to have guests over, and for guests you usually need a little bit more space in the kitchen and in the living room or guest room. And I want my kid to have a separate room, so I also need some place for that. And this is a good amount of square meters actually. It would be nice to have a little bit more if they are well organized and really are used by us, because I don't want to have 500 square meters of open space and don't use it at all. So just want a nice, good, organized, my own apartment. Are you planning on getting any pets in the future? Not in the nearest future, because we are renting this apartment. We can't have any pets here, and also we want to travel a little bit, and with pets it's usually a little bit more complicated. So we think about that, but not in the nearest future, I think. Favorite movie, TV show, Russian music? What are some Russian authors that you would recommend, maybe more contemporary? Well, I don't have a favorite movie, but here are a couple movies that are more contemporary and that I really enjoyed. Don't watch any TV shows, but I watch some Russian YouTube channels. Also, we'll put it here. And Russian music, I don't listen to music so much. I listen to Russian worship from our local churches, and I don't listen much of Russian music. I don't really like it, and I've never liked it at all actually. Even in my teenage years when I used to love music, I was listening to English music. And what are some Russian authors? I don't read books from contemporary authors because I don't find them very interesting. Maybe I couldn't just find anybody who I would be really interested in. I really enjoy reading Tolstoy, Dostoevsky, Turgenev, Goncharov, Lermontov, Bulgakov. And the last question is, what is your big dream and where would you like to be in 5 years? I don't have a specific big dream. I just want to see a lot of things and achieve a lot of things, and I want to have a bigger family. I want to travel a lot, and I just want to volunteer in some projects. I want to be more active as a citizen of our city. Just a lot of things that I'm interested in. I want to have a bigger YouTube channel, and I want to share all this journey with you guys. So yeah, just whole life that I want to live is sort of a dream. So that's all for today, guys. These are all the questions that I wanted to answer. Thank you a lot for asking me. I hope this video was entertaining, interesting and informative for you guys. I hope that you liked it, and I also hope to see you in my next video. Bye bye.